Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're cutting straight to the heart of something I think a lot of you feel: service-based business anxiety. If you run a company, like our source materials example, Evergreen Spaces Landscaping, you definitely know the pain of riding that financial roller coaster.
Absolutely. 1 month you're slammed, the next, it's quiet. You're worrying where the next client is coming from.
Exactly. And that unpredictable rhythm, it just stops growth dead in its tracks, doesn't it?
It really does. So our mission today is custom tailored for you, focusing on one single objective, transforming that feast or famine cycle, turning it into something systematic, automated, an engine really for long-term customer loyalty and crucially predictable revenue.
And we're doing this by looking at a blueprint, basically, for one business owner who moved away from constantly chasing new leads. And they leveraged a powerful but honestly pretty accessible tech stack, Notion as the brain,
The central hub, yeah.
Make.com as the coordinator kind of pulling the strings, and OpenAI as the custom voice, making it sound human.
Yeah. And the owner's initial frustration, it really boiled down to 4 clear pain points. First, like you said, that terrifying silence of the quiet periods. Second, the crushing disappointment when clients promise referrals.
They always promise.
And they just never materialize. It happens.
It does. And third was that kind of organizational decay, just losing track of past clients over time.
Totally. You simply couldn't remember who lived where or what services they had done or even when they last needed you. It gets messy.
Super messy. And finally, the personal barrier, right? Follow-up attempts were just non-existent.
Yeah.
Because they felt clumsy or they sounded generic.
Or you're afraid of being pushy. Right.
Exactly. That writer's block when it comes to re-engagement.
So these 4 points, they're precisely what traps businesses in that perpetual hustling mode, always chasing the next new thing.
Okay, let's look at the fix then. Our first target has to be solving that unpredictability, those quiet periods.
Right.
And the strategic insight here, it feels like, is that you don't always need a brand new customer. You often just need a repeat customer.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. The cost of reactivating an existing customer, someone who already trusts you, it's dramatically lower than acquiring a cold lead.
Makes sense.
But you can't just call them randomly, That feels weird. You need a proactive scheduling system, something based on their actual history with you.
And the genius of the source material here is pinning down that psychological sweet spot for reaching out again. It's contacting the client in the 7 to 11 month window after their last service, that specific time frame.
Yes. And crucially, that 7 to 11 month window, it's preemptive. It's right before the client fully realizes they need that seasonal maintenance again.
Okay. Like before the panic sets in.
Exactly. Think needing the gutters cleaned before the big fall rains hit, or needing that spring planting prep done. You catch them before they've had the chance to call a competitor or even start shopping around.
So you're catching them when they're primed for convenience, not necessarily desperate for a deal.
Precisely. You're making it easy for them.
Okay, so to automate this, the first step sounds foundational. Getting all that client data names, addresses, service dates, what kind of service centralized?
Into a single hub.
Yeah.
In this case, a Notion database. Notion basically becomes the company's long-term memory. No more scraps of paper or forgotten spreadsheets.
Right. Got it. So once Notion has that central data, that's where Make.com comes in.
Exactly. And we need to stop thinking of Make.com as just like a workflow engine. Think of it more like an invisible coordinator.
Okay.
Like a digital alarm clock that's constantly watching that Notion database. Make.com runs a scan, say monthly, asking one very strategic question. Which clients got a job done exactly 7 to 11 months ago? Simple as that.
Okay, so it flags those specific clients. And once that list of perfectly primed clients is generated, that's the trigger for OpenAI.
That's the trigger. And this is where we eliminate that owner's writer's block you mentioned.
Wow.
Instead of some generic mass email that everyone ignores, OpenAI generates a custom, personalized follow-up.
How personalized?
Well, it uses the specific service tags from Notion, so it can remind the client about something highly relevant to them. Like, hey, remember we did that fall mulching last year? It's about that time again. Or thinking about spring aeration soon.
Wow. Okay, so it's more than just automation. It's scaling personalization.
Exactly. You're not just setting a reminder. You're offering timely, relevant service that looks thoughtful, like you actually remembered them specifically.
And the impact. Even if only a small percentage respond,
Yeah, I mean, even if only 10% of those reactivated clients respond, and that feels pretty conservative, honestly, that small return creates a predictable base of steady work.
Which smooths out those dips in the business cycle.
Drastically smooths them out, without requiring tons of manual labor chasing leads.
Okay, so we've tackled the silence, the quiet periods. But what about the noise? Those missed opportunities? Let's turn to those promised referrals that seem to just evaporate.
Ugh, yes. The phantom referrals.
And that sheer awkwardness of losing track of who you worked for last year, forgetting details.
Right. Well, the problem with referrals, it's often psychological, isn't it? And it's rooted in timing.
How so?
Customer satisfaction, that feeling of, wow, they did a great job. It peaks immediately after the job is completed, like right then.
Okay, makes sense.
But most business owners, what do? They wait days, maybe even weeks, to send the final invoice or ask for a testimonial or a referral.
Yeah, you get busy with the next job.
Exactly. And by then, that peak happiness, that real enthusiasm, it's just faded back to baseline. The moment's gone.
So how did the source material suggest tackling that crucial timing issue? How do you strike while the iron is hot, so to speak?
With an AI-enhanced referral workflow. And the trigger. It's make.com, again, acting within 24 hours post-completion.
24 hours, that's fast.
That's peak happiness territory. Make.com basically tells the system, hey, this job is done, and immediately triggers a personalized thank you message.
Drafted by OpenAI again, I assume?
Drafted, of course, by OpenAI, keeping it in that authentic voice.
And critically, this message has to make the referral easy, right? No hoops to jump through.
Absolutely frictionless. They included a simple one-click referral link. Could be just a Google form, nothing fancy.
Okay.
Where the client can easily just forward an invitation or pop in a friend's contact info. Zero friction is key.
Got it. And there needs to be a reason for them to actually do it.
Yes. You must pair that frictionless request with a clear incentive. The source noted a dual discount works well.
Dual meaning?
A percentage off for both the person referring and the new client being referred. That significantly boosts the follow-through rate.
Ah, smart. So everyone wins.
Everyone wins. And because the system's automated, when those referral leads come in through that form, they're immediately logged back into Notion.
So no hot lead gets forgotten or dropped in the chaos?
Never again. It closes the loop perfectly.
Okay, that handles referrals. Now, let's address that embarrassing third pain point, client memory lapse. That awkward feeling when a past customer calls and you're scrambling thinking, did we do roses for them or was it a stone patio?
Happens to the best of us. This is where we really elevate Notion from just a database to a true client relationship management system.
Yes.
A proper CRM.
Okay.
That's right. The robust Notion profiles, they don't just store names and addresses, they store the entire history.
Like what specifically?
Notes on specific preferences, maybe they only like organic fertilizer, or they have a dog, materials used on the job, the full service history, dates, costs, even project photos.
Oh, photos are great.
Yeah. You essentially eliminate the need for the owner to rely on, fragile human memory. It's all there.
And what's impressive is how these tools work together to make accessing that memory instant. You mentioned search.
Yeah, so if the owner needs to quickly look something up before a call, OpenAI can power an internal search assistant right within Notion.
So you could just type.
You could type something like mulching job in Willow Creek 2022 and boom. The system instantly pulls up that exact client profile with all the stored notes and photos.
Wow. That kind of instant recall, that really elevates the level of professionalism, doesn't it? And the personalization.
Immediately. And here's a beautiful touch they added. Anniversary notifications.
Anniversary of the job.
Exactly. Setting automated reminders for project anniversaries. It allows the system to send out these little personalized notes.
Like what?
Things like, hey, it's been a year since your backyard transformation. We hope you're still enjoying the fire pit. Just a small touch.
That's nice. It's not salesy.
Not at all. It's a small, consistent act of nurturing. And it dramatically boosts the likelihood of repeat business down the line without sounding like a desperate sales pitch. It just feels thoughtful.
Okay, that brings us neatly to the final and maybe the most human obstacle. Avoiding follow-up because you don't want to sound pushy. We've all been there, right? Staring at a blank screen, trying to write an email that doesn't sound like some canned, annoying sales pitch.
Yeah, that difficulty, it's paralyzing sometimes.
Right.
And it just leads to, well, no follow-up at all, which is the worst outcome.
So how does the AI help here beyond just writing something?
Exactly. This is where the training of the AI becomes critical. The solution wasn't just using OpenAI, it was training it properly.
How do you train it?
By feeding the AI examples of the business owner's past successful, non-pushy emails and texts. the ones that actually worked and felt genuine.
Ah, so the AI learns their specific voice and tone.
Precisely. It learns their authentic voice.
Yeah.
And this eliminates writer's block entirely because the system provides the first draft.
Yeah.
And that draft already sounds thoughtful and non-robotic. It sounds like them.
Okay, that makes a huge difference. So once you have that authentic voice established in the AI, then you can build campaigns.
Then you can build sophisticated strategic campaigns. You use make.com not just to flying those 7-month dates, but to schedule whole automated sequences.
Like a drip campaign.
Sort of, but smarter. Maybe a non-sales check-in after 3 months. Just, how's the lawn doing? Followed by a relevant seasonal offer before spring really hits. And then that critical 7 to 11-month reactivation reminder. It's layered.
Gotcha.
And what's also fascinating here, and maybe a bit more advanced, is the ability to conduct A/B testing automatically.
Testing different messages.
Yeah. Make.com can actually test which specific wording, or maybe which email subject line, gets the best open rate or response rate.
Oh, wow.
So the business can continuously optimize its engagement strategy based on real data, not just guesswork about what sounds good.
Okay, so we have the system built. Let's zoom out and look at the bottom line for this landscaping business owner. How quickly do they actually see the impact of shifting from all that manual chasing to this automated nurturing? Is it a long wait?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
They're definitely not waiting a year. The quick wins, things like just getting the existing client data ported over to Notion and starting those automated 24-hour thank yous, that stuff's achievable within like 2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's fast.
Yeah, that's an immediate lift in just basic professionalism and lead capture right there.
And the full system. Seasonal flows, the referral stuff, the custom voice.
That whole setup, getting it operational and humming along, probably within 60 days.
60 days, 2 months. That's a pretty fast turnaround for building this kind of, well, infrastructure.
It is. And the time saved is substantial. The source projected saving up to 5 to 10 hours per month that was previously spent on manual client management, tracking, follow-ups.
Wow, that adds up.
It really does. But the ultimate impact, obviously, is revenue predictability. The numbers suggest that even a modest 10% uptick in repeat or referral bookings, just 10% driven by this systematic nurturing, can add thousands annually to the revenue. And maybe more importantly, it drastically reduces that reliance on unpredictable new leads. It smooths everything out.
This really does completely change the dynamic of the business, doesn't it? It fundamentally shifts the owner's focus.
Absolutely. From reactive lead chasing to proactive systematic relationship nurturing.
That seems like the core message here.
Yeah, and I think this raises an important question for you, the listener. The core insight, really, is that this is not just about using tech for efficiency's sake.
It's more than that.
It's about using technology to build and maintain client relationships at scale. Relationships that still feel genuine because the outreach is timely and it's personalized.
Right.
The moment you automate the thank you, the relevant follow-up, that little anniversary note, you transform the client experience. It stops being just a one-off transaction.
It becomes more like a continuous conversation.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So, okay, if you are running a service business right now listening to this, let's maybe distill this conversation into 3 immediate action items, things you could literally start today.
Good idea.
1, you need to get your existing client data out of wherever it is, notebooks, spreadsheets, your head, and into a structured, centralized tool, like Notion, maybe. That's your CRM foundation.
Yep. Number 2, map out your key workflow touchpoints. Pinpoint those crucial dates for your specific industry. Job completion is obvious.
Right.
But what are the key seasonal needs? What about project anniversaries?
Yeah.
Knowing those dates is what triggers the automation. You need the triggers.
Makes sense. And 3, set up your absolute easiest, quickest automation right away. Like this week.
Which one?
Get that post-job thank you and referral ask running within 24 hours. You can do that with a simple make.com trigger, OpenAI for the message, and maybe just a basic Google form for the referral.
That's an instant win right there.
Yeah.
Low-hanging fruit.
Definitely.
You know, the true value here, I think, is that shift in focus. Moving from constant effort to systematic architecture.
Yeah.
So the provocative thought maybe is this. Which one of your existing manual follow-up tasks, the one that always feels clumsy or awkward, the one you put off?
We all have one.
We all have one. Could you potentially eliminate that task and automate it this week just by mapping those key dates we talked about and maybe applying a strategic 7 to 11-month re-engagement idea to your own industry? What could that unlock?
That's a really powerful thought to end on. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
My pleasure.
We'll catch